I think. Yes, hello everyone. I'm trying something new today and I'm going to try and put this on Instagram. So excuse me just one moment. Yay! Hey Susan, it's so good to see you here. Hopefully everything is working. I had a weird problem. Yep, there we go. I had a weird problem this weekend, so let's see what happens. Oh, it is just live. It went automatically live. Someone told me I had to click. And look at that. So I will be looking, let's see. Whoop. I am trying to see where I am best here. Oh, I can't tell. So anyhow, this is about the center. And I will pay attention here. I'm going to also kind of use my computer for a minute. Hey everyone. Okay. And hey Jill, and hey, you guys tell me how you are, what's going on, how is life. I am still trying to get used to where I'm supposed to be so the YouTube and Facebook can see me big and Instagram, so I may peek over there a minute. I know, I'm trying to be a big girl today. I have avoided going live on Instagram, and actually it was quite easy so far. So we shall see. Bridget, there is a fig recipe in ebook 1 or in the Ninja Creami Experience. If you guys look down, so this is a Ninja Creami. I'm going to make 2 recipes I was going to make anyhow. I'm going to talk about them. One is brand new, one is from the ebook 2. Let me move this over here. So I have both of my books printed out. So this is the original one from the Ninja Creami Experience. And there's the same version that's on Kindle Unlimited. And I think I call it there like the dairy-free version. It's the same thing with just a few things different from the Ninja Creami Experience one, which tells you how to access your Ninja Creami Experience. And you can get the PDF over on ThriveCart. If you look below in the description, the Ninja Creami Experience is 50% off right now. And I'm keeping it that way all summer. It includes this ebook that you can print out. It's got lots of great recipes. I think it's 39 recipes. Ebook 2 has more, but the Ninja Creami Experience, you might be like, well, why is that different? Is it just an ebook? No, it's like 17 to 20 individual step-by-step videos, from like unboxing it to making our first 2 pints together to making a milk. It's everything step-by-step. So if you're like, the Ninja Creami Experience is for you. So that's what that is, and that's why it costs more. I've had people go, how could you charge, like, it's $50 now, I think. It's usually $100. And they're like, how could you charge $100 for an ebook? And I'm like, well, I didn't. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. Plus there's 2 recorded 3-hour live classes for when that launched 2 years ago, answering all the questions from everybody. Okay, let me look in here. And welcome, and thanks for joining me in an almost impromptu live. I think I gave you like, what, an hour notice or something. Joanne, 2 Joannes are here. Bridget was saying she'd like a fig recipe. Well, there's a fig one here. It's actually the only non-whole food plant-based recipe in here. And let me find the page number, and I will talk, you can make it whole food plant-based. I made a fresh fig blue cheese ice cream. What I would do now, instead of putting, I think it has a 1/4 cup of vegan blue cheese. I wonder if I'm ever gonna find the table of contents in here. I bet it's before the words. Yes, it is. So where's my fig one? Fig. And no one, okay, it's a sorbet. I did a fresh fig and vegan blue cheese pear sorbet. So it's like my other sorbets where I'm using a can of pears in juice, pureeing it, adding figs to make it, that's kind of my general sorbet go-to. If I was making a fig ice cream, you could pretty much do it the way we're going to make the peach ice cream. depending on how much fruit you have in there, how much fiber, how much structure, you may or may not want to add some whole food plant-based thickener like okara, cooked white sweet potato, silken tofu, leftover almond milk pulp, just all kinds of things. So that's what this one is. And then the Atole is straight from my creatively titled Ninja Creami Whole Food Plant-Based ebook 2. And you guys probably saw the picture, but Atole is a warm corn cinnamon drink that has Hispanic origins. I believe it's Mexican origins, but I am not positive. Sometimes it's even made with like dried corn, but I make mine with fresh corn. You can use frozen corn, all kinds of things like that. So the reason we're making the 2 we have, so I roasted an ear of corn a couple of days ago and just threw it in the fridge, and it doesn't look luscious, but it's going to be great in here. This could also be frozen corn. Now I'm going to tell you right now, my peaches look rough. I took the skins off and threw them into the refrigerator yesterday just so I could make this today. They were last legs, but they weren't moldy yet. They were just starting to get soft. The skins were really getting crinkly and kind of like you wouldn't want to eat them, but probably nothing was wrong with them. So they peel off really easy at that point. And I really wanted to show you this peach caramel ice cream because it's really delicious. I had made some and served it to Chef Yin and Oz while they were here, and they really, really liked it. Oh, hey, Linda from Iceland. How awesome. I would love to go there. Okay, and Jeremy says he's thinking of moving to silken tofu in the Creami. So one of the things, because I get a lot of questions about what book should I buy, book 1 or book 2. And book 1 is not, I changed my way of thinking. However, what we're using as a thickener is often 2 tablespoons of nut butter or some cashews, or you could do some of the same things. You can swap these things out. In here, most of the recipes call for what I'm terming a whole food plant-based thickener. And the reason I'm saying it that way is like people are using pudding mix and Jell-O and all these weird things. And so you don't need them. And I think I have a list. How long is this list? Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, but there's even more. But it just kind of gives you an idea. You'll see white sweet potatoes. The reason you hear white sweet potatoes talked about a little more than the normal, easy to get orange sweet potatoes is white sweet potatoes tend to taste a little more vanilla, cakey, or have a more neutral flavor. Orange sweet potatoes have a stronger flavor. If you don't mind that flavor, then you should use them. Cheryl is a no. And so if I made a chocolate for her, and I don't even love chocolate, but I ate it with the sweet potato. I figured it'd be like sweet potato brownies, and it probably was pretty close. And Cheryl does not like that. Oh, hey, Jules, I'm glad that you're here. Adriana's here. 5, that's what I was going to say. Yay. Oh, who does not love Ninja Creami ice cream, right? It's awesome. Linda's on a WinStar cruise eating whole food plant-based foods for the win. Well, yay. Why did you not take me with you is what I want to know. And all kinds of other people. I'm behind on the comments already. Let me come and see. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Yeah, it seems like it's cutting in and out on Instagram. Does anybody know why that might be? Because I don't know. And I'll say, so sorry, not sure why. Oh, because it's still here. What's the event log? What do I have on here? Oh, this may be why. Let's see if this helps. Sorry. And I don't think that it's doing it. Well, I'm trying. So we'll keep on with the live, and I can always post some pieces from this on Instagram if Instagram chooses not to go along with me, because it either that or, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. All right, fresh fig blue cheese vegan creamy. Yes, I have that for sure. Ooh, Renee says it's gorgeous in New Jersey today, mid-70s and sunny. You're buying an Ninja Creamy, congratulations. Oh, and Marilyn's saying, I have the canned pears, but have been liking the okara so much, I have neglected making Ninja Creamy. And we can talk about this some more too. Alrighty. Yay. So here we go. We'll see what happens. The index for book 1 is somewhere out in the way. I'll see what I can do. I had it out last year. I'm also working forward on a bunch of stuff too. So anyhow, enough chatting. Let's go ahead and we'll make some ice cream, and maybe we'll spin some ice cream too. So first, let's go ahead and make the peach one. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how I decided to make it too. I'm going to have to get some dates. And yeah, I'm just frozen over there. So I think I'm going to stop not paying attention to you guys is what I'm going to do. All right. So I'll show you this. So when I am doing, let's see, I think you'll see it better over here. When I am doing an experiment, I have a little label and I put what I did. And in fact, I saved this one because this was caramel peach. I had 2 really big peaches, 5 dates, a teaspoon of vanilla, and soy milk to fill up the container. And actually, that's the one thing I didn't bring, so let me grab a couple of containers. Actually, I'm going to get these. Okay, these are the Ninja Creamy Breeze containers. I have all the different kinds. It doesn't matter what kind you use, don't worry. And are you guys still seeing me? If you are, tell me. Okay. Just for making sure. I think you guys are still seeing me. Alrighty. So this is really about 2 peaches that I peeled. It's really 2.5. These were smaller. And one of the things when we're talking about thickeners, if you have a very fibrous fruit, or sometimes even dates, if you're using a lot of dates, that can count towards what thickens it up, makes it good. Okay, Instagram Live it's showing just stopped for me on Instagram Live. So, yay, thanks guys. So I've got some peaches in here. I will change, and this goes for any of my recipes in any of my books or on the site or on YouTube. If the fruit is sweet, these are peaches that I got that ripened up. So those are significantly sweeter than frozen peaches or peaches in a jar to me. And I've got some really nice medjool dates. I usually use 5 to 7 dates, depending on the sweetness of the fruit, my mood that day, how I feel about life. If you're a 2-date person, then that's great. You should use 2 dates and then just add in extra milk or peaches. Did you guys see me do the thing where you put the in the wrong place? Okay, and also dates are not consistent. Sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're huge. These are medjool dates, but if you are using, here, let me get this down a little bit. If you are using deglet dates, you are gonna probably use twice as much. Typically they're drier. If they're real dry, I soak them as well. Oh, hello, Silverhead Fitness. You are looking spicy and delicious, by the way. Oh, yay. Awesome. Tia says, I finally bought a Ninja Creami, but I haven't tried it yet. The live is perfect timing for me. Good. This is really easy. So let's talk for a second, too, as I'm making this actual recipe. These peaches could be strawberries, or blueberries, or blackberries, or nectarines, or bananas, applesauce, pears. The dates, and in my very best vanilla, which is in ebook 2, I use dates as the sweetener. That's going to always bring the caramel with a little bit of vanilla extract, that is. So in the vanilla ice cream, some people are like, well, it tastes kind of caramel and I want it to taste vanilla. At that point, you need to move away from dates as the sweetener and use some other kind of liquid sweetener to taste. And sweeteners are like, what are the, it's not a sand trap. A sand trap is golf. What is the stuff that, that's always in cartoons and you step in it and then you get swallowed in. And I can't think of that word, but if anybody would like to share that word with me, I'll share it. But it's really just a deadly, deadly trap. Because whatever is an okay sweetener today will not be tomorrow. So after my very first cookbook in 2010, I've always said sweetener of your choice to taste, because we can taste all the things. What I recommend, quicksand, thank you. I see I had half of it right, and I'm like, it is not a sand trap, though it is a quicksand that is a trap. Jules wins the prize today. Woo! Now I've written Linda, yeah. Sinkhole. Jeremy says sinkhole. He has a unique one. So I don't talk about sweeteners. I don't tell you what sweeteners you should eat. I don't tell you what doctors you should follow. That's your choice, right? So I will tell you what I would do for a vanilla that does not have a caramel flavor. Or if I wanted to make this peach where it didn't have that date flavor, I can make a peach sorbet by, instead of using dates, pureeing a 15 or 15 and a half ounce can, depending on inflation or shrinkflation. I get the ones in juice from Walmart. I'd puree that with this. It's going to taste like peaches. You don't really taste the pear. The pear isn't forward. And what I would do right now, like adding some mint or some lemon basil, would be fantabulous. But if I wanted to make this an ice cream, the pear to make it sweet takes up a lot of room. So I would use either agave nectar, vegan sugar made into a simple syrup, or maple syrup. But maple syrup has a strong flavor too. So if you don't want to use any of those, then don't. You could use applesauce. You could use pears. But you know, you're going to have to figure out what your sweetness level is. Oh, thank you, Angela. Angela is like the sweetest, most patient person. And don't forget, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, there's like a cool thing happening on the channel. Vicki Brett Gock is going to be cooking, and Angela of Boomer and Beyond Wellness is going to be demonstrating a whole exercise routine for us for free. So come hang out with all of us. I'll have that. Yeah, shrinkflation. Yeah, because like what happens, it's frustrating as a cookbook author because I'll say it's a 28 ounce can, and well, then now 10 years later, it's a 26 ounce can. But that's also one of the reasons I'm like, take a deep Zen breath. It's okay to be close enough. cooking can be more like horseshoes than, I don't know, building a house. Oh, and Jeremy uses date powder, and date powder can work really well. I have some the finest grind is from Well Your World that I found, and I do like that. Date sugar does not melt. It's not going to dissolve like vegan sugar, like cane sugar or other things like that. Oh, Monique said, I heard cement as cement. I've been living back in North Carolina for a long time. Who knows what's going to be happening. But yeah, just so you know, because I'm seeing that a lot. And don't forget, if anybody has the link to the Whole Food Plant-Based Ninja Creami Facebook group, will you post it? If not, I'll try and post it back later. Because I hang out there, so does Victoria Emily, and we can help you answer some of your questions as well. And there. Okay, so I'm going to put, I said a teaspoon of vanilla. Honestly, between you, me, and all the cameras and people watching, if I'm doing it for a recipe, I will measure it out, but I don't at home. Now, another thing, so I had put that in and some soy milk. And since this peach is a little less, I'm going to just reach in here. I have some okara still in the fridge from some stuff I did yesterday. And I might add a little bit of it. And okara is just the strained out pulp from soy milk. And it's one of the 17 plus different whole food plant-based thickeners. So no, you don't have to have this. No, you don't have to drink soy. In fact, I made a quick cashew milk because I didn't know if I had quite enough milk for both of these. So this is at 3 cups. I'm going to put about a cup in, I think. And I'm putting this down so I can see. I'm not good at guesstimating from here. Just a little bit more. And so that's about 1 cup non-dairy milk. And I am going to put this recipe up. I've got to take photos and stuff too. About 2 large peaches or about 3 small peaches. Ooh, one more thing I need. I think I washed my Beast spatula over here. I can't do the Beast without the Beast spatula. Ha! Here it is. Okay. So I did about 5 big McDougall dates, a teaspoon of vanilla. It was about a full cup of peaches. And here's the thing too, you can change these ratios to make them what you want to be. And so what you want them to be, not what you want to be. You can't make them a lawyer. You can't make them the doctor you wish your son was. But you can say, I have 1 peach, 1 single peach. So you might decide to put a mango in there, getting crazy. Or you might decide, I want vanilla with just a hint of peach and make it like a vanilla ice cream with a peach. You are only limited by your own creativity and willing to experiment. And that's it. Okay. Okay, another thing that I'm getting from some people, question-wise, is people worry that there's some little specks of date, or they're like, my date isn't working so well. Let me move this over here so you don't have to watch my finger on the screen too. This blends pretty well. If it's not even blended this well, you're still going to be okay. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. The reason I blend everything together is because it makes a better texture. It also gives me the opportunity to do this. Is there enough vanilla? Yes. Were my peaches sweet enough? Yes. The dates feel good? Yes. There's enough darkness in there for me to feel like that's going to be caramely. Also realize when you're doing this, the frozen blend is going to taste a little less sweet because it's frozen and your taste buds get a different feel from it. And that's all. So if I thought this was like perfect sweet, I would add another date. If I wanted it to be a little bit creamier, maybe I would add a little more soy milk. Maybe I'll add that soy milk when I'm spinning. We'll just see. Okay. Miss Obbs is in the house. Hello. I'm going to see Miss Obbs in October. And I want you to look at this thickness, because this is pretty thick, right? You guys can kind of see that. Plonk. If it was really, really thin, then I might add in some of this. I wasn't sure if my ratio was good. Would it hurt if I added it? No. Would it help? Perhaps, but it certainly wouldn't hurt anything. So I want you to be a little more devil-may-care with your creamy pints, especially with all this beautiful summer produce. You know, you can use zucchini as a thickener. If you're like, I wonder if I can use that as a thickener. I bet you could. As long as you blend it, it has a lot of fiber and it makes your mixture thicker. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so let's do this here. Let's see if I can make it. And look, it's outside. I'm able to have the doors open. So I'm just going to kind of pour this in here. Move it back a little bit. And I'm just going to, this spatula is a game changer only with the Beast blender. If you don't have the Beast blender, you don't need this special one. But it has a little thing that goes right where all the ridges are that help it blend pretty well. Okay. And honestly, it's right there on the max fill line. So I feel good about that. I know October is not too far away, Miss Obbs. So I would, it's so yummy. Again, it's peaches, dates, vanilla, non-dairy milk of your choice. Today, it happens to be cashew milk because that's the quickest, easiest milk that I can make that I don't have to strain. That is my normal travel milk. So I take my little Archmira, I take my cashews, I put my cashews in the Archmira, go to bed, wake up, turn it on, and then I make Cheryl and I oatmeal or grits and our coffee or teas. Right? It is awesome. So this spatula is ridiculously $20, but I thought I lost it and I was going to buy it again. And for me, being cheap me, that means it works really well. Let me rinse this just so I can have my spatula back again. But so I came up with this because I was thinking I don't really want to use sugar today to make a peach ice cream. And I started thinking, what are interesting combinations? And peach and caramel are a pretty good combination. I think like a pecan praline peach could be interesting too. So on a spin, you could either do some crushed shortbread cookies, some pecans. If you add in peaches or other things like that, they're just going to kind of puree. And honestly, I'm not a big mix-in fan. So I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me that much. Let's see what... I know I saw some question. Oh, Jewel says, I see the idea coming together, right? And the reason I wanted to even come on and conceptually explain this to you, I know we've done this a lot, but it's very easy. And for me too. So when I got the Ninja Creami several years ago, I was like, this book kind of isn't great. Everything's coconut milk. I don't want to eat this much coconut milk. This was even before I was on the starch solution. And it's hard to clean up that much fat out of a plastic container, honestly. And I don't, like, I love the taste of coconut, which is why, like in ebook 2, we have no coconut recipes, like for pina colada, and we have the one that I collaborated with Chef Yin to make into a whole food plant-based, no oil, and we use coconut extract, and it's delightful and easy to clean up. But you know, first, if you've just gotten it, make one recipe and follow one of my recipes. I have some recipes on healthyslowcooking.com. I have some recipes here. I'm going to be putting up more Ninja Creami recipes in the next few weeks. I've taken some pictures already of, I think, 2 that we're not even talking about today. So there are going to be some, and I'm going to put some up from, maybe 1 or 2 up from book 2 and a couple up from book 1, just so you guys can see it. Maybe I'll write a thing about the book and put the table of contents in there for y'all. Oh, that's a great question. What would you do if you felt there was too much vanilla? I'm not sure that that's possible for me. So that's why I'm a little like, woohoo! Because the only thing that keeps me from using twice as much vanilla is that vanilla is expensive. But what I would do, let's say I did add too much vanilla, or maybe too many dates. If I had this filled up and there were too many dates, I would take half of it out, divide it up into 2, and add all the other ingredients but the one that there was too much of. Almost everything is fixable. Just don't always fix it in the same pan. Like, even if you had a chili that you added just ridiculous amounts of salt to, you added salt, 5 other people in your house added salt, and you taste it and you're like, oh my gosh. Take it, divide it into 2 pans, add more beans, add more tomatoes, keep adding different things until that salt level is okay for what you have. Yeah, and it's always best to add less to begin with and then add more, especially if you're experimenting. So even in Kathy's Cooking Club, if I'm we made up a few things on Saturday, I almost always add half the amount that I think I'm going to need, taste it, because I can't go backwards, but I can go forwards and add more. Oh, Adriana says they need to get one of those spatulas for my beast. I will try and come back and put that in the comments because it is awesome. I don't know who Cheryl's talking to, but she's very animated downstairs. I don't know if you guys hear that. Monica says, I bought an arc mirror because of your demos and love it. I make soy milk mostly, and the soy milk demo was very helpful. Good. And you guys, if you want to make your plant milk at home and you're not just making cashew milk or almond milk, a milk maker can be really helpful, especially if you want to do soy. It's much less steps. If you're making cashew milk you don't even have to strain with anything. So honestly, if you want to make milk at home, you're like, nuts are fine with me, that's the easiest milk you can make. All right, yeah, the coconut extract is pretty good. I'm trying a couple more. Ooh, Jeremy says pumpkin spice is at the store again. I have a recipe here to make pumpkin spice blend, apple pie spice blend, and I think somewhere, I got to get it back on. I made a Halloween black spice blend, so I'm excited about that. Figure outable, obs. Love that. Yeah, fix it in another pan. If it's really bad, if it's just a little bit, you probably can just throw another can of beans in that chili, right? Or cut up another sweet potato or something like that. Yeah, I like, the arc mirror is very inexpensive now. Actually, I'll show you. I'm traipsing around all over because it's actually in our travel backpack over here, because we're going to be traveling again in a few weeks. So these are the cashews. I got them from Amazon. They're just pieces. Pieces are usually cheaper, and they're organic. And this is my little arc mirror. It fits in my backpack with my cashews. and then I don't have to strain it. And then it's in I have the bigger Mio mat that I use for soy milk. You can use for either, but the Mio mat is more like 4 to 5 cups of milk. That's going to be more 1.5 to 2 cups of milk. Okay, awesome. Who's ready for the corn ice cream and whose mind is blown by the idea of using corn in the ice cream? So I'll show you this a little closer. See how it's still beautiful corn that I got on Saturday, but I didn't cover it well, so it's it's drying out a little bit. Whose fault is that? My fault. It's my fault. I'm trying to see if anything's happening over here on Instagram, but I think it's still frozen. Yeah, still frozen. Corn ice cream. So in this one, and also, someone was asking me this, what page it was on in the book, and I'm not going to be answering those questions. Life is too hard, man. So in the beginning of this book and the other, sorry, I'm not showing it very well, has like the table of contents. If you are on like an iPad or phone or looking it up in the PDF, you can go up to the top and go to find and look for that, or you can click right on these links. And so in ebook 2, there's Let's Talk Ninja Creami with all the information, staples, sorbets and sherbets, and I am team SHERBERT. So I know I'm taking my stand. That's where I'm actually taking my stand on spelling, because we say sherbet, we don't say sherbet. So ice creams, like how to make any ice cream, vanilla ice cream, strawberry, we've got some chocolates, we've got fruit, we have full O veggies, which includes pumpkin spice, which I think I'm going to put on the blog because I think we need it. And it's my favorite photo. Sweet pea mint, which you've seen me make around. So we're using the peas there for the thickener. We're using the pumpkin for a thickener. This one we're using Atole. Then also I want you to notice there's a little section here of nuts, and those are things like pistachio, maple walnut, PB2. So I tried to make it very easy for those of you who can't have nuts to avoid that really clearly. And then fun flavors like night ice cream and smoky vanilla, and fruity beer ice cream that I make with athletic, which I think is 0.05% alcohol, so there is a little bit. The arc mirror is still good for soy milk if you want to make small amounts. Kathy's asking. And also said, I just bought roasted canned corn. That should work fine. Frozen corn will work fine. This, Monique is saying, is the corn raw? This corn is actually cooked in the microwave, because I did a microwave class. And I've always heard about people cooking corn in the microwave, and I kind of like, I don't know, I had a little bit of an attitude about it. So I cut off the end. I took some of the dirty outer leaves off, but left some of the outer leaves. Microwaved it on high power for about 5 minutes, actually about 6 or 7, because these were really big. And then as I pulled off that outer layers, the silk came with it, and it was delightful. I think, because you can eat raw corn, so you could make this with raw corn. It's up to you. I think I have made it before, but I can't remember. If I did it, it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, and the arc mirror is good for soy milk because it cooks at the same time as grinding the beans, just like the Mio mat. And the reason I have kind of separated the two, I have both, and both of them I use. I travel with the arc mirror because I don't want to make 5 cups of milk and then have to take 4 cups home. This way I can just make what I need for the day when we're traveling. At home, I like to make milk not more than twice a week, really, ideally once a week, but when I'm making Ninja Creami pints, it goes pretty fast. And then some people love the almond cow who are part of the community. I'm not a big fan because it costs as much as the Mio mat, and it doesn't heat. and it sort of strains some stuff out. I'd rather just use a good strainer. Tina Pitt says, cook my corn on the cob in the air fryer. I do that as well. And what I probably would do next time is cook it in the microwave and then caramelize it a little extra in the air fryer. So I would still be cutting down on the time. For those of you who don't know, I've gotten a little bit, I don't know, what's the word? Big words are hard today, but I'm just kind of a little bit in like with the microwave. Like I was always like, eh. And then I got those any day bowls, and I'll show you guys. We'll do something about that soon. They're glass bowls because Cheryl was using the microwave anyhow. And now I've made some of the best rice I've ever made. I made grits in there in 6 minutes without standing over a stove. So I'm not saying, I don't think any one appliance is for absolutely everything. But I do think there's some good stuff going on in the microwave. So I'll just say that now. Anybody else have any questions about this? I'm just going to end this live video because I think it's not really working. And we're just going to discard it. Discard it. Okay. And now I am all attuned to you. Right? Words are hard. Obs, thank you. Rice in the microwave? Yeah, this time I did white rice. Haven't done brown rice yet. And in this thing, it has a little steamer. And oh my God, it was perfect in 25 minutes. It was really good. Am I telling you, you have to make rice in the microwave? No, because I don't tell you how to make your own decisions. I just give you information that you can use should you want to. All right, so we're going to put about a cup of corn. And one other thing you might want to know about, I put everything in the blender. It's just going to make it easier on your machine because we're already kind of pushing it a little bit without using sugar and fat. It allows you to taste and know that your mixture is blended well the way you like it. And I told you to. After I just told you not to do anything, I will tell you to do this. I just think it's a better idea all the way around. It took me a long time to talk Chef AJ into doing it, and now even Chef AJ's doing it. One thing that you should know is ebook 1 does not have the deluxe measurements. And so you have to manually calculate 1.5 times if you have the deluxe model. You can use free ChatGPT. Just look up ChatGPT and then put in the stuff and go, multiply this by 1.5 and print it out as a recipe, and it will do it magically for you. How do I know that? Because that's how I got the measurements for this one. So ebook 2 has deluxe and original measurements in it. Why did I not do deluxe measurements in the first book? It didn't exist. It just didn't exist. So that's why it's that. Instant Pot rice is not faster than microwave rice, in fact. And because we're not just counting cooking times, we're starting start to finish. And so if you're cooking your rice, it takes a while to come up to pressure in the Instant Pot. Longer in the winter when the ambient temperature is lower. Also, to make the best rice, I found you need to let it natural pressure release for 10 minutes after the cooking time as well. So that's one thing you have to think. Instant Pot sounds great. You're like, cook potatoes in 3 minutes. But the reality is that there's more time involved than that. It takes a long time for it to come up to pressure to start cooking for those 3 minutes. And CJ from Scotland, hey CJ, always cooks her brown rice in the microwave. Yeah, it's really quite nice. And hey Mona. And Jill says I'm not good with rice in the Instant Pot. It works fine. You can see my rice cooker. I did a bunch of research and I got the Yum Asia rice cookers because I felt least uncomfortable with the materials used. Do I think they're awesome? No, I think the Instant Pot is better with stainless steel, but I was tired of losing, 1/8 of a cup of rice and having to dig that out of my sink after clearing it because it always sticks. Interesting. CJ says her rice comes out of the Instant Pot more like rice pudding than lovely fluffy rice. It could either be your water to grain ratio or your cooking time. So if I'm trying to remember and there's so many wildly varying things that you can do, and all three of those change what that's going to be. Oh, and so CJ does too. Yeah, and you just kind of have to play with it for sure. And also, short grain rice, medium grain rice, long grain rice are all going to change in times and water needs as well. One of the things you do usually see on rice cookers are different water levels for that. Georgia, did Cheryl never email you back? I am so sorry, because I know you emailed me and I sent it to her. We have the GE Opal 2, I think it is, and we got it at Costco. And if you don't have an Ninja Creami and you're watching this, and you're like, now I want an Ninja Creami, honestly, Costco is the best place to buy your small kitchen appliances because they have a customer favorable return policy. So we had our first Opal for a little over 2 years, and it started making this just ridiculously awful squealing. Like, I was jumpy. It was so loud. And so we took it back to Costco. They looked it up. They gave us a full refund. They didn't carry it in the store. So on the way home, I ordered it on Costco's website, and actually it was on sale. So I think we got $40 just for fun. So does that help, Georgia? And the reason I sent you to Cheryl is she's the one who went and bought it and might know she cleans it and maintains it. So hopefully that helps, Georgia. Yeah, Jeremy says type of rice, brand of rice, find a favorite and remember the cook time. See, and I am team, I need rice, I'm at this store, I'm gonna get it. But also I have everything from short grain jade rice to multigrain sushi rice to forbidden rice to, so usually most rice do pretty well with 1 cup of rice, 1 1/4 cup of water in the Instant Pot. But you kind of have to see, and it also depends on how long. I've seen some people just double down on 1 to 1, and they are the ones who wash their rice before they put it in, and who leave it set for a while too. Kaylin is saying, what do you cook? What container do you cook it in? Here, I'll show you. And do I have? Yeah, I don't have the lid for this one. I don't have the lid for this one right now with me, but these are those any day containers, and I'll put a link. Right. And then what's kind of cool is this lid, you can push it down and it seals this little thing, or you pull it up and it steams. So also we have these little microwave thingies. So I would sit this in here, put my stuff in, and then I can just grab it in and out of the microwave. So you can make small amounts of rice, or I got a whole set of these. And this is why, honestly, I've become enamored. These work really, really great. They're not super cheap. You can also use your existing Pyrex dishes, and there's like a little piggy steamer, so it's like something that goes over the top, and it has nose holes for steam. Does that help, Kaylin? Oh, Georgia, you've had your Creami for about 2 years. Do you have... Today's the day. Okay, and if you want, just get some pineapple and juice and dump it into your container. Put a lid on it. Don't blend it, don't do anything, and put it in the freezer. Okay? And then I have a video. You watch any of my videos and spin it along with me. You can find deluxe videos or regular ones to find out exactly what you need to do. And I will be with you every step of the way. All right, so let's get back to corn ice cream, shall we? And I'm using about 3/4 of a cup of non-dairy milk because this is a recipe, so I measured it exactly. Normally, I'm just a little devil may care. All right. I used 3 to 4 medjool dates in this. I thought this was didn't need quite as much sweetness. You may decide that I'm wrong and put more in, and that is totally okay and up to you. 1, 2, and it could have been that I had giant dates that day. 2. Another thing I do, because obviously I'm a spacey middle-aged lady, is over here on the cutting board, I'm sitting them together so when I forget, I can look and see how many seeds there are. And that usually helps me along my day. Okay. And corn is usually sweet. If you, again, and I'm gonna wash the date off my hands instead of spreading it all over everything. Frozen corn, canned corn may not be as sweet. If you get super sweet, it'll be a little sweeter than regular. You know, it's just how life goes. All right. Excellent. Georgia says, I bought my Creami from QVC. I have pineapple in the cupboard. Going to get it and try it today. Excellent. And if it doesn't quite fill up to the max fill line, you can add a little bit of non-dairy milk. You can add a little bit of vanilla. I do that often. If it's a giant can of pineapple, put it in 2. All right. And then I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon. And because I do want to measure it properly here, though I won't say I won't ever not. And the cinnamon in the corn gives it, it's not exact, it's reminiscent to me a little bit of what horchata tastes like. It's not a 1-to-1 but the cinnamon, the creamy plant beverage, you know, it's just really nice. And then we're putting in a 1/2 teaspoon. We could just use this and do 2/4 and wash up 1 less spoon because I can math. I can't remember words, but I'm still mathing, so I feel okay about life. All right, so corn kernels, non-dairy milk, dates, vanilla, and cinnamon. Oh, it smells glorious. It really, really does. And then I'll come back and answer some of your questions too. I'm trying to get an affiliate with Cook Any Day, but so far I don't have anything. So. Okay, and so like if you see here again, right in here, you see we have some date specks. I'm not worried about those. They are still going to be creamyized, right? So we'll be okay. Tanya, welcome. All right. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit more just because the corn is a little, I would like the corn to be more pureed. And this corn might be a little drier than the corn I used before because I didn't cover it in the fridge, which is no one's fault but my own. I thought Cheryl was going to for sure eat it that night. And CJ is saying that any day containers are phenomenally expensive in the UK, and I would not be surprised because they're not even super popular here. There we go. But like I said, while I like them, they're not cheap even in the US. You can take an existing microwavable container, and they have, I think I'm going to send it out this week in the newsletter, so make sure you're on the newsletter, is that little piggy thing is like $15. And you can use that too. You know, you can use other things that you might have. Honestly, if you're okay with it, you probably could put plastic over it and poke a couple holes. Or if you have a microwave venting top of some sort. See, look at me just putting it in here. I didn't even taste it. I just feel confident. Oh my God. I love Atole. I did not know about it for so long. And corn and cinnamon. And the dates, I feel like in this ice cream, the dates really mimic that traditional Hispanic brown sugar. And so it tastes so good. And when you try the ice cream, I think it's on healthyslowcooking.com. I have Atole the warm one. And it's delightful. It might be on Plant-Based Instant Pot. I can't remember. So let's watch. Let's watch me pour this one in. And here's the thing. Depending on how things blend up, if it's a little under here, like if that's all I got out, I'd be okay. That's still going to spin fine. Remember, we can eat up to about a quarter of it and still respin it. It's just if you're going that low to a quarter, I would spin. Then I would take a spoon, get all the ice walls and the ice bottom, because that's going to be a lot of it, and then respin again. And I would even try to not add any more liquid. And see, it's a little light. So I could do one of two things. If I think it can handle it, which it can, I could add some more non-dairy milk and mix it in, or I could leave it like this and maybe add some more in when I'm spinning it. There's no one thing. Oh, any day has, yeah, I know a lot of people aren't keen on plastics, and I'm not that keen on plastics. It's made of glass. I'll show you this one. And I found out something new. So this is frosted glass. This is glass. The colored parts are silicone, and there's some kind of metal that can go in the microwave. Don't ask me. I'm of the generation that was always told, don't put anything metal in the microwave. So that's these 2 pints. And yes, they are glass. And that's the reason I like them, and that's the reason I'm becoming a little enamored. Ooh, I remembered my word. A little enamored with the microwave, because I feel like it cooks things faster. It's not right now super hot, but it's been very hot this year. And so I've not wanted to even have the air fryer on some days, even though it's still significantly better than having the oven. So, okay, great. Let me see what else. Oh, Tanya is currently spinning my chocolate ice cream. Yay! Let's see. And Vi says, I hope the next Ninja Creamy model is quieter. The Beast is also noisy. Anything that has a big motor is going to be noisy. The Vitamix, the Beast, the reason we love them is because they blend so well. The reason they blend so well is they have those loud motors. There is something that I don't think came yet that's a noise cutter for the Ninja Creamy. So I will be demoing that at some point this week, as long as it comes today like it's supposed to. I've not seen anything like it, so that's going to be interesting. And let's see. Aw, thanks, Vi. I appreciate it. Oh, this is the Atole, and this is the brand new, exciting caramel peach. And we can even spin some of that, I think, if you would like. I put some in the fridge. Oh, I knew what you meant. And Tanya, does that help? Anybody else have questions that I may have missed? Because I'm not trying to ignore you. And so like I said, usually I put labels on. So this was the second one. So I put peach, date, caramel, and I used almond milk. And sometimes that's just for me. Almond milk isn't always my favorite, but it's the one I had. So for those of you who are kind of new to things, let's do our whole, ew, I didn't clean this lid very well. Let me go clean this lid. You don't need to be seeing, there's some raspberry something in there. Oh! If you have the original or the deluxe, this does come off with the seal. And I probably was taking pictures and was like, good enough. And you know what? It wasn't good enough. Yeah. All right. So unless you have the Breeze, which is discontinued, your lid comes into two pieces. So let's talk about that for a second while this is to the side. Oh yeah, and I'm going to put up, Tanya, I'm going to put up the peach recipe sometime this week. Probably not today. What would Parallel Universe Kathy make? Ooh. Does that mean it has to make opposite or just different? Maybe I would be making, I don't know. I'm not sure who Parallel Universe Kathy is. If you gave me some details. Now I want you to see this. So see how I'm just, the ring comes out, and honestly I usually use this blade to dig it out. So I saw, actually I still see, I'm just going to wipe that off a little bit from earlier. Okay, so that's where it goes. Now usually these things, like on the Instant Pot, they seal very well. This is one of the first ones, and see how it does not seal well? Do you see how it's not in there tight, which means stuff gets in there. It's also weird, I'm not really sure exactly what it's for, because it doesn't really do anything. Endless goodies, says Jules. I'm like, thinking peach, maybe a peach mango cardamom lassi yogurt ice cream kind of thing. Okay. All right, so now this little thing at the top, you can kind of see it opens and closes something. You can see it very clearly here. These opens, close, open. So you hold it open with one hand, you drop this in, and you let go. It's not going to come out, but it's loosey-goosey. Really loosey-goosey. It's not you, it's it, okay? You can see the little nib here. There's it comes down and goes in all the way to the bottom. So what it does is it's a magnet, and it takes this magnet, the spinning blade, and spins it in. So that's that. And I didn't plug this in. So one of the reasons we're so careful about a few things, other than plugging in the machine, is that we're using a harder mixture. So usually, let's say regular ice cream, right, that's not whole food plant-based, has some fat in it, has some sugar in it. Ooh, peach pistachio, peach with jalapeno, peach jalapeno margarita sorbet. That I would say that for. I had a faux peach margarita last night. It was delightful. So what we don't want is this needs to come down straight, right? Because if it comes down sideways, it's going to dig into the plastic and put plastic in your food. That has never happened to me. Maybe it'll happen today because I said never. But some people go, I don't worry about scraping the top level and things like that. I always do. Even this one isn't really that much of a hump, because what happens is it freezes from the outside in and it'll push some stuff up. I take just a spoon, and if it's been sitting out a little bit, I left it in the fridge so it wouldn't be too soft. Usually from my freezer downstairs, it's much harder than this. But even then, I can just scrape it off, and I even it up a little bit. Okay. And then you get to taste it. This has holes, this has little dimples. So I always sit it down and twist it to make sure it's in right. Oh, jackfruit would be good. And then there's a little line here and a little line here, right? And that's how you start it. And you press it in and it'll click. Got it? If we're using the original today, but if it was the deluxe, it slides in. The original just sits on top here. Okay, we turn it on, and the install light is blinking. Don't panic if it's your first time. It's saying it's not connected, which is true. It's confusing the first time. So no matter how you got this in here, deluxe or not, you're going to twist it up, and it locks in, and then you get your choices. And I usually, pretty much 95% of the time, use light ice cream or sorbet. Let me see if I can get this a little closer. Not everyone has smoothie bowl or gelato, but honestly, you don't really need them. Milk mix-in you can use, respin you'll use. We may not use respin today. I'm gonna go ahead and start spinning this on light ice cream. And I'm walking away, that's why it's getting quieter. Actually, while I was doing this, I'll make sure the thing didn't come in the mail yet, but I don't think it has. No, it's supposed to come here today by 8. So maybe on Thursday we'll do another ice cream demo, at least a spinning demo. The thing I'm looking at is supposed to possibly cut the sound, the noise, by 70%. But we'll see about that. I'm just in my living room looking out at the beautiful day that is today. Our crepe myrtles are blooming. The garden's doing pretty well. I'm getting tons of peppers. So many shishito and jalapeno peppers, some pimentos that Jeremy gave me, lots of herbs. My tomatoes are looking a little worse for wear, but the eggplants are kind of soldiering on, and so are the zucchini. There are a couple of cucumbers growing, but they're not looking very happy. And I have a giant lemongrass plant that I wasn't sure would grow as much. Okay, I hear that it's coming down a little bit, so we'll go back into the safe, quiet kitchen. Ta-da! Okay, so Oh, Tanya says she's spinning too. Jeremy's going, you spin me right round. That's awesome. Thank you, Monica. Monica gave me a compliment. So there's a little button over here. You press that button and it lets go. All right, let's take a look and I'll tell you what we're looking for. Ooh, it's perfect. It's just perfect. So I can tell because it's very swirly, it's very smooth. So if I take a spoon, see how smooth it is? Sometimes it's going to look like Dippin' Dots. One of the reasons this didn't need a respin is it had been thawing out some in my refrigerator. So see? One thing that could be an interesting faux mix-in, because I would do it by hand, is I could take some of this in a bowl. I could have some date syrup, or sometimes I'll make a date paste caramel and then kind of fold it in. If you put that on in the mix-in, it's just going to mix it completely in, so it's going to lose that. The only way you can get those swirls is by doing it by hand. Babs is saying, can you use a bit of flour like spelt or buckwheat to thicken? I would not, because that's going to leave a very grainy texture. You can thicken it with, so this one is thickened with peaches, that one's thickened with corn. I use okara, tofu, cooked white sweet potato, and 80 million other ones. But some people do use flaxseed or chia seed. I don't really, because I haven't really found it necessary, and I think that sometimes it affects the flavor. I'm looking most for a really nice flavor than a really nice texture. This one is the peach one. So it's more orange, so you can kind of see. This is the corn one, and that would depend on your corn. If you had blue corn that you did this, it would be blue. Yeah. Yeah, someone's saying flour is good with heat. And so unlike traditional ice creams, if you saw in the beginning, if you didn't, you'll be able to watch the replay. But I blended together ingredients and we put them in here. All I'm going to do is freeze it, and then magically I'll be spinning like this. So this is basically the before and the after. Before, everything just got spun. So see, it's pretty thick anyhow. And it doesn't have to be this thick. This is a little thinner. You figure out what's best for you. If I had gotten this straight out of the freezer, it would have taken a couple of respins. But because I let it melt a little bit, it's all ready to go. I really love the way the caramel, like the date flavor with the vanilla, makes really kind of a proper caramel flavor that stands up to that almost kind of, peach has such a unique flavor. It's like rich and sweet, but then it's kind of got a little bit of like sweet tart or a little tart flavor to it. And I feel like those two really come up together. So you get both those flavors, which is what I wanted. Do you guys have any questions about what we've done today? We have made Atole corn ice cream, corn cinnamon ice cream from the Whole Food Plant-Based ebook 2. A brand new recipe, which is date caramel peach. And we talked about 80,000 things like we always do, like microwaves and dishes and Ninja Creamies and how to do things. We've even talked about rice. But if you have any other questions, let me know. And I have a meeting in 15 minutes that I'm going to be eating my ice cream at because Cheryl doesn't like peaches, so this is all mine. So I'm feeling good about that too. I'm not seeing any questions, so I think I'll give it just another minute. I know sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. I'm going to be trying to do more lives. So I'm going to try and schedule them ahead of time, which may or may not happen. I'm doing the. Do I ever use almond flavoring? Absolutely. I have all kinds of flavorings. I use, in my vanilla, I'll put a little bit of almond and make it wedding cake flavored. I use lavender extract. There's so many extracts. Absolutely. Hey, Joanne, welcome. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Tanya says I'm freezing now. I'm like, I just eat cold food in the summer a lot because I get hot. But today is a beautiful day. I think it's only getting to be 80 degrees today, so we have the house open. Though I think I just felt the air conditioning turn on. We have a Nest, so sometimes I set it for like 82 and then all of a sudden it'll be on 74 again. If you're coming in late, you can always, the replay will be available pretty much as soon as I leave, just not the chat. The chat won't be up on YouTube until everything processes, which can be anywhere from 2 to 24 hours. So if you're wondering who I'm talking to and you wish you were part of that conversation and you're watching the replay, it will be up and you can watch the replay of the chat. Oh, good, Monique. I'm so glad that you came and hung out with me. Joanne, welcome for your first time, and everybody else, just have a great day. I'm trying to just be a little more chill, a little more relaxed, a little more letting myself not just be where I am. So I suggest that for you too. Okay, Tia says, thank you, Kathy. That was helpful. I got your second Creami ebook, but now I want the first book with the course. And that's fine too. Some people need it. The recipe for the peach is not going to be up until later this week. Okay, just because I've got to, I can't remember if I took pictures. I think I have to take pictures of it, and then I have to write the post, and so it's going to take some time. It won't happen today. Oh, thank you, Georgia. I'm so sorry if Cheryl didn't answer that question for you, though, because I know you emailed me twice and I forwarded it. I have not mixed in my Pitzel cookies. I haven't made them in a while, and I was thinking of trying to remake them and double down on oil-free. I made them several years ago, but they would work well. Jeremy says it's carrot planting season. Then maybe that's where some of these, I got some space to plant, so let's talk. Oh, good, Vi, I'm glad you had a good time. Where is it? Someone was saying they love almond in chocolate. I like lavender in chocolate, orange in chocolate. But there's so many good things. All right, you guys, have a great day. And don't forget, put on your calendars, tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing a program with Angela from Boomer and Beyond Wellness and Vicki Brett Gock. It's going to be super awesome. And then on Friday at 1, these are already scheduled on YouTube. You can go see them. Friday at 1, we're going to have Stacy Cross back on. We're going to have a McDougall question and answer, and also Tiffany's going to be on. So we're going to have both of the support specialists on. So it'll be super awesome. Okay, so hopefully I'll see all of you guys tomorrow.